So here I am remaking this video, and today I would like to talk about a lot of things, but I went to the optometrist with my siblings. We had our eyes tested, and I've had my eye test way back in 2017, late 2017. I do apologize. I've had my eye test way back in 2017, and 2017 was way back. It seems like it's just been a couple of years, but it was so long ago. I was around 15 at the time, so quite some time. And basically, I passed the test 2020. Crazy, right? This time there was not a test out of marks. It was just, can you see certain things, and um, can you just see certain words? And it turns out that I can't really see from further away. I can see very close, but I can't see very far. It's kind of unfortunate, but I guess that's how my eyes turned out to be. And basically, um, the optometrist gave me these little glasses, the testing glasses, and he said, read this section from paper. And as I was reading, and then he took the glasses out, and then all of a sudden, I just had to stop reading because all of a sudden my eyes had to adjust. So, yeah, he said it's not really necessary for me to have glasses right now because I'm not driving or anything like that. So it's fine. It's very fine, which is a good thing. It's a good thing. I don't have to have glasses now. Anyways, hope you're all having a wonderful day. Today is Easter Saturday, which is so good. Um, I'm not gonna eat too much Easter eggs. And I know I wanted to buy all of those small round eggs from varying different sizes. I'm not going to do that. I think it's best to eat very little sweets as possible. Just don't even eat sweets. It's unfortunate how it is. I can't even eat sweets. I've been very, very careful with what I'm eating. I'll try to be more careful. So, yeah, let's just see what happens. Honestly, imagine not eating all the sweets during Easter time. I'm sure there's other foods to eat during Easter time that's not so sweet. I don't even know. I don't know. I'm so used to eating Easter eggs around this time. Like, I've always eaten a lot of Easter eggs. Last year around this time, I never had Easter eggs, so kind of unfortunate. But 2021, and we had a lot, and we just finished it in a day. Crazy, right? Now I regret that. Honestly, I wish I can speak more about what's to come, but unfortunately, I feel like anytime I say something, nothing comes right. It's sad as it is. I just don't want to make any mistakes because sometimes I will say, "Oh, look, I'm better," or I'm getting worse," or something like that, and the opposite comes. So I can't really speak for anyone or myself right now. So we just have to take it as it is. Now, I want to look at something for a moment because it's fascinating. So, okay, we're gonna be doing some reactions to something, some videos. If you don't know what happened, Riley Gaines, she is this swimmer that lost because of Leah Thomas. And what happened was she got very publicized about it. She went out and about, spoke outright against this, and she's become a figurehead for female sports. And even though I wasn't paying so much attention to her, obviously now she's just making the rounds. And something happened a couple days ago. Basically, she was in, I think, some school or university. I don't know the full news of that, but she was somewhere, and all of a sudden these students started going after her. Let me play some of the clip. What happened? Oh my gosh, I was so terrified. The screen just flipped. Okay, let me get my glasses. I'm sorry about the glare, but what else can I say? Let's play from here. This is my generation. This is Gen Z. This is your future. These are the type of people that will be in politics. Don't be surprised when you have you have socialism in the next 30 years. Don't be surprised. Don't be perplexed because these are your students. These students are not going to get de-radicalized whatsoever. This is how they are, and this is how they behave. They think everyone's out to get them, which is not true. Here's the thing, they built this upon themselves. No one was after them. I remember back in 2016-17 how mild the criticisms were against them. You didn't have discussions about trans kids. You never have any of those discussions. You only had like just a couple of people not agreeing with it. That's it. That's it. Because everywhere else you went, it was stunning and brave, stunning and brave. That was it. Now, come 2023, things have went full gear. Everything now is all about kids. It's all about going after the kids. It's all about like rights. Here's the thing, they've always had rights. They've always had human rights. It's part of human rights. You're allowed to say what you want to say, feel what how you want to feel. You know, you have the basic rights as everyone else. But then all of a sudden things just got so crazy and now you have to always chant this over and over. And when they chant it, it seems as if they're trying to affirm it themselves, you know, obviously trying to affirm you as well, but they're trying to affirm, you know, themselves too, because why do you keep repeating it over and over? That's what it sounds like, but obviously they believe in all these type of stuff. And here's the sad truth about all of this. My generation is going to go through this the worst. I don't know about Generation Alpha, but I can say right now that Gen Z is going to have it the worst with all of this nonsense. You know, you would hear stories of little girls going through these surgeries because they believe or someone told them they're not this way or whatever. And then you have no choice but to listen to them. That's insane. That's really insane. I still have arguments with my mother about all of my nonsense. So why can't most parents just be like that and say no? The sad part is that, you know, I've read a couple of stories online about, you know, people self-deleting themselves, very young age deleting themselves. And you would hear one of the stories I've heard was, you know, this person was always affirmed, always had positive people around their side, and just, you know, cancel themselves. And that's the problem I have because you can surround yourself with all of the fresh smiles, the white smiles. It doesn't change anything. The fact that you are now constantly thinking everyone's after you. Here's the thing, if your mindset is always about, okay, this is always going to come after me, this person is always going to come after me, that's going to be your mindset because most people aren't after you, like you won't even find people after you. Like that's the problem. Like if you bring it up, people are going to disagree with it, but no one's coming after you to kill you whatsoever. You make it up yourselves, you know? Because there are people right now spreading literal this is literally a conspiracy at this point. The fact that a lot of people are believing in it is completely insane. The worst part is not the trans people. The straight people will allow this to happen because you always have to affirm, be allies all the time instead of saying no, you shouldn't do this, you can't do this. There's always supposed to be boundaries, and no one placed those boundaries. No one said, okay, this should be a boundary, that should be a boundary. No one said any of that. And it's so unfortunate because this is how you're making children. This is how you're making my generation. Because most of them now are going to keep screaming and screaming like this. Like this. Okay? I want you to watch, um, I want you to watch, you know, a March for Life. And I want you to look at how different that generation is. That's still Gen Z. It's just a different part of that. I want you to watch that march. Where is it? I want you to watch it just for a moment. Okay.
Those children who want to one day walk, talk, and love their families.
You can see how peaceful it is.
Inside of
You can
home,
see that everyone is just, you know, sticking to themselves, cheerful smiles.
this talk that
and they are fighting for stopping abortion. You can tell that, even though,
Especially seeing all the priests. That's always fun.
even though, even though what's happening to the children is completely disgusting, they are still keep maintaining their peace. They're still trying to have peace, inner peace, because they know that you have to win with happiness. You have to win by being kind. There's always a way to win by being kind. It's impossible to just expect only to win by only being bad. No, it's not. That. Yes, it happens, but it doesn't mean it's the only way. If you want to win, you can also be kind and win. And you look at this; it's very peaceful.
Priests are all different young men. I think it's important for the young men to be out here as well.
And you look at the people out there. Look at those smiles. Look at the faces. Look at those faces. They don't feel like they're gonna pop instantly. They feel like okay, they're surrounded with calm energy. See, one thing I've noticed is that the calm energy illuminates. It radiates all over. It spreads, and it spreads like good bacteria. And that's the truth of it. You need to understand that. You need to understand that. Yes, there's always going to be two sides to everything. But for the past few years, I've noticed Generation Z becoming more and more far left. And this is going to destroy not just America, but the rest of the world because most students just think, okay, this is how to think instead of how to understand the future because the future is important. This isn't just my life. I'm not just living my life as an individual. I am living my life, and my life is going to impact on someone. Whether what happens, it's always going to impact someone. It's always going to be something. My life is going to impact someone. Me being sick is going to maybe make someone stress out. Stuff like that. Or if let's just say I helped someone out, I donated in the past, I impacted someone's life. You understand? Like everyone here always can impact something or someone. It's not just an individual. You are more than just an individual. There's a full connection of so many invisible lines connecting everyone together, and that's the truth of all of it. So what I'm trying to say is that um, don't be surprised in the next 10, 20 years when Gen Z gets more power and they start implementing socialist policies because their teacher told them it's going to work. FYI, it's not going to work. It's so sad that people still believe that these days. Um, I'm still trying to figure out because I have a lot in my generation that have so much of good mindset, but they put that energy to the wrong places. They have that good energy, that energy radiating, but they put it to the wrong places. They don't know what to do. They're confused. This is what's going on. And how do you fix it? How do you fix all of this all together? Is to obviously wake people up, And when I mean wake people up, I'm not talking about being radical. You cannot wake people up by being radical. You make people wake up to the other side. Why do you think a lot of people are finally fed up with all of this woke nonsense when it comes to companies going woke? Bud Lights. I never had Bud Lights. Never had it. I don't want to drink energy stuff. I don't want to drink anything. I don't even know if it's beer. Okay, I just don't want to drink it. But they went out of their way, and they were like full on. Um, they were full on um, woke, and now they have to cancel some of their own stuff. you know People are just saying, oh, I don't want this, so they're boycotting the product. And this is the first time I've actually seen the right boycott something more than just a TV show or whatever. Like, this is something pretty important, you know and just remember, if you're going to boycott something, never bring violence, because violence will hurt everyone. Everything is connected. Never bring violence. Never do that. Always boycott silently, or you can just talk about it online and just don't try to make it a big thing. It can only grow big if it's non-violent, because if it's violent, it's just gonna become a point where you're gonna lose, you're gonna hurt others, it's gonna lose, your momentum is gonna lose, everything's just gonna be affected. And here is what I'm gonna say. You don't have to drink all of these beers. You don't have to drink what Jack Daniels. Jack Daniels came out with a new ad, and people don't like that. People on the right don't like it. So what are they gonna do? Are they gonna complain about it, or are they going to put their money where their mouth is and say no? You have to judge with your wallet. I know it's very hard. It's absolutely hard these days. Every product is always connected to something. I understand that. But when it comes to the easy stuff, it's very easy to boycott beer. You don't need to drink. I know it sounds a bit harsh, but you don't have to do that. You don't have to smoke. I'm saying that because there's so much of alternatives. Nonetheless, more of these unhealthy companies keep going woke. People are not going to get into it, and it's going to make people a lot healthier. The worst part is that this is going on in a long string of continuity. Have you noticed it? It's not like, okay, Gillette did this last year, a couple of years later, another company goes woke. No, no, no. This is all happening simultaneously. It's all connected like a train. It's all of the everything's just in motion, it's just moving in motion, going in motion, all the pieces moving in motion. So here's the truth. The marketing of this, all the marketing, all the I do apologize for any background noise, but all all of the, you could say, marketing, the marketers are connected together.
The backlash they've been receiving over the sponsorship of Dylan Mulvaney. So what?
This has to be one of the biggest things. Okay, I'm sorry for pausing. Not pausing, actually just muting the microphone. Sorry, there was just a lot of noise. Still talking in the background. I'm sorry. Okay, let me just continue and say that when it comes to the boycotts, all of this type of stuff that's going on, just remember that so many people are coming out of this now. Like this really affected. I never thought this will happen. I never thought the right will actually step up and start realizing, you know what, this is something I do not want to support. Never thought that. Because normally when it comes to the left, they get their way no matter what. When they boycott something, they mean it. And sometimes they go overboard. When it comes to the right, they complain about it. Some of them say, okay, I won't buy this anymore, scratch it off my list, I won't purchase it anymore. But you don't get to a point where even certain events are just cancelled. People are not selling those products in their stores. You don't get to that point. This is something first for many people who are anti-woke. So let me just say that this is interesting, fascinating. What's crazy is that this is going to continue forever. After this, Jack Daniels came out with this ad, or maybe around the same time. You don't need Jack Daniels. You need to judge your wallet. Like, finally, you're judging with your wallet. I thought Gillette would have awakened people up, but no, it did not. Years ago, when Gillette went woke, guess what? A lot of people just didn't buy Gillette products. But not only that, that was so big and controversial. At this point, it was like really insane. I remember they hired a specific marketer, no, a specific director for this. So it's all the people they hire to make these ads, all the people working internally, who they believe is pretty influential. And at this point, I guarantee you, if they gave a sponsorship to someone on the right, that person would have been cancelled. The left would have cancelled them like this. People say, "Oh, it wouldn't happen." No, it would happen. Okay, let's try and understand if the roles were reversed. Bud, what was it called? Anheuser-Busch products. Basically, let's just say some conservative. Let's say, for the sake of the argument, we use Brett Cooper. Okay, because she's pretty influential. Let's just use her. She gets a face on a couple of Bud Light cans. She gets sponsored and everything like that. Okay, cool. Now you'll get a response from the left saying they're not going to support this, they're not going to do any of it, the event will be cancelled, all of these things will be cancelled. So basically, it'll happen the same thing, but it might be more amplified to a point where things will get very gross. All I can say is that it would have happened regardless. This would have happened. This boycott would have happened even if they chose someone on the right to sponsor them. I'm glad people on the right are at least stepping up for once and realizing that these companies are not here to be your friend. Just remember, many people on the right, especially in America, are very pro-capitalist. They are they are the blue-collar workers. They are the ones who keep the country running. And you have these major companies who now basically judge things based off ESG funding. So they're not going to hire people like you. They're not going to sponsor people like you. They're going to ignore you. They're going to purposely ignore you because they are hiring people based on ESG. They are hiring people based on politics. Don't forget that this isn't some kind of unbiased world we're living in anymore. People are now hiring based on politics. And it would make sense if it's a political company, but if it's not a political company, why are you hiring based on politics? And that's completely interesting. So they're going to get sponsorships based on who they think is fun whatsoever. And what's crazy is even Nike came out with, I forgot what they did now exactly. I completely forgot. And you know what they say? You know what they said? Stop being bigots. That's what they said to people complaining. So, yeah, they standing up against the mob. But the thing is that Nike was woke for some time. They went woke for some time. Most of these companies went woke. Why wasn't there a boycott when it first initially happened? Why now? Why it took so long now? Hmm? Why? Because some of these products like Gillette, I remember Gillette. I don't even buy Gillette at all. I remember when Gillette went woke. Oh, I remember. And I remember how everyone was basically having these big debates and all this type of crap. And the fact that they went from, hey, you are a fine person, here's a razor blade to shave your beard. They went from that to, you're a bigot. They insulted they insulted the target market. Not in a very funny way, poking fun at themselves as well. No, they basically said, if you're a man, you're a bad person. That's what they said. So remember, they lost $8 billion. $8 billion or 6 billion. Billion, not million, billion. They lost a lot of money. They lost a lot of money. And who's to blame? Many of us said, okay, we're not going to care for this type of products anymore. Good, good. They don't need my money. They genuinely don't need my money. They insulted me. They insulted many of you. They don't need our money. If they have the attitude like that to not just mock us, but also after losing all that money to act as if it's no big deal, they don't deserve our money. They don't deserve our money at all. Why aren't they getting all the woke people to buy their products? Why? That's my main question. You can pander to these woke people as much as you want. Most of them aren't going to get into these products. At this point, we are going to get into a parallel economy that is terrifying for many reasons. Imagine having a parallel economy doctor or a parallel economy lawyer. That's going to be insane. That's going to be so insane. And I'm not wanting a parallel economy. I think we can agree and disagree, but they aren't going going to stop with this type of stuff. So guess what, I am not going to give my money to most people. I'll say no, because my money is more important and my values are more important. If they think it's okay for them to treat our values like trash, then we don't have to give them money. You stop feeling stapled to them. People need to stop feeling stapled to them like a bunch of papers stuck together. You don't have to do that. You're in charge of your wallet. You're in charge of how you run your wallet. If a company goes out of their way, starts lecturing you about certain stuff, you're not going to use them. Even in South Africa, this is happening. You have some companies talking about all this type of stuff, and it's very hard to ignore most of them because many of them are so big, they're so ubiquitous in this country. But some of them you can easily boycott, and you can boycott safely. I don't want to make noise. I don't want to harass people. I don't want to do any of that. I do not, let me make myself clear, do not do any of that type of hateful stuff, because they are the hateful ones. Why must we fight hate with hate? You fight hate with love. That's how you fight hatred. These companies hate us. Why should we start getting all angry when we should be like, okay, you know what? That's your thing. Go ahead. I'm not spending money with you. I'm gonna spend on money. I'm gonna spend my money on companies that love me. How about that? Because they value my money more than anything else. I'm gonna spend my money over there. You see, you don't fight fire with fire. You fight fire with water. You extinguish the fire. You don't fight fire with fire. I know this is a very old saying, but I say fight fire with water. It's just very simple. It's the easiest route. Ignore it. You don't have to be beholden to these companies. Okay, I know some of us grew up with some of these companies, but we don't have to anymore. There's so much of different alternatives, and we can just completely ignore the product altogether and move on with our lives, because there is no need to harass anyone. We don't have to do any of that. Do not, I repeat, do not do any of that. It is disgusting. It is horrifying. We don't play like that. We are just going to say, hey, you know what? You want other people's money instead of ours? Go ahead. But don't complain if you don't earn anything from us. Don't complain, because we're gonna spend money on companies that admire us, okay, or admire our wallets instead. Anyways, all I can say is that this is gonna continue. This is gonna continue because you can get multiple companies just coming out and saying, "Hey, we don't support you. Don't like it. Don't buy it." Remember when they said that? Remember when they said that with Battlefield 5? Don't like it. Don't buy it. They lost money. They lost money. Battlefield 5 did not sell as good as anything else, and they doubled down on the responses. It's really insane. Anyways, I have to go and just move on. Um, thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you so much. Tell me your thoughts. I know this has been a very strange video, but overall, let's just say that people are finally waking up and realizing that these companies freaking hate them. They don't want you. They don't care for you. And if they say they don't want you, they rather have this other audience. And here's something as well. Matt Walsh mentioned this as well. They are forming a new audience. They are so disgusted by their old or current audience that they have to start anew. They are turning over a new leaf because they don't want to be aligned with any one of us. So good luck with all of their new audiences and fans and whatnot, and supporters and customers. Good luck with that. Good luck with that, because I'm sure companies will like our money as well. So we'll find other companies that enjoy us. Just remember, many of these companies are specifically trying to remake their audience, reshape their audience. So don't be surprised. A lot of this is all just trying to clean the house and get in a fresh new face. That's all it is right now. Okay, most of these people are literally evil, and the only way to fight against them is to be kind and say, you don't want our money, goodbye. That's it. That's literally it. It's the easiest way to completely, just have fun in this world, because we don't need them. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. My throat is very sore now for talking. Have a fantastic day. Bye.
Hi, my name is Carl Winstead. Carmen Winstead's brother.
What was that?